Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues. With this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 10 of the anime series Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis. And this episode was all kinds of badass once again, I have to say. Not least of which because of certain speculations that I've had all throughout the last few episodes basically had been proven true in this episode, which I was delighted by. But also there were some twists and turns that I just frankly couldn't have seen coming. Completely unpredictable twists and turns in the story, character events, and such like that. Beginning basically with, Jean d'Arc being burned at the stake by the order of the king. And this is where we see, this cloaked mystery figure, this manipulator, approaching her again and basically forcing upon her a vision of the heavenly angels, the Archangel Michael and such like that, basically where they are spurning her and turning their back on her. And she really has a crisis of faith in that moment. And then is offered up, once again, that noxious potion she turned away from in the previous episode from this cloaked figure, which this time she ingests. And to my utter surprise and shock, she gets transformed into a demon, full form, and looks like she's about to just tear down that castle and anything that stands in her way. The king, of course, is very rightfully so freaked out, and it was just mind-blowing. Of course, we follow on from this, picking up with the ongoing journey of Favreau, Kaiser, and Namira, respectively. And it's very interesting because, of course, their path becomes blocked by this strange, unearthly, the world just rips out from under them, and everything becomes snowy and frosty. There's some kind of, smog or whatever, basically hearkening back to when they found little zombie girl Rita, where Favreau is covering his mouth and wondering if it's some kind of mind-altering thing. Doesn't really prove to be, but in fact it is the awakening of Helheim, and we find out that the person behind all of this is kind of the right-hand man to Beelzebub himself. Now, we don't catch his name when Bacchus is bringing him up, but I believe Amira calls him Martinet. And this cat has apparently been her sensei, her mentor, and it's all been under sort of false tidings. We basically get the bomb drop revelation from Martinet, in effect working for Beelzebub, that, the whole idea of Amira's mother being the angel Nicole and all this kind of stuff is actually not the way it really happened. Martinet is outlining the entire plan of his and Beelzebub's. Beelzebub basically wants to bring back Bahamut, but he also wants to be the ruler of the world in place of Satan, who has effectively gone away, become the demon key to match Zeus's becoming the god key, to keep Bahamut at bay. And Beelzebub, I don't know whether he thinks he can control Bahamut as a power, or take Bahamut out and then rule supremely over it. I don't exactly know what he's thinking, but the whole point is that, Amira, her whole life is false. Everything she remembers is false. She is very childlike, as Favreau pointed out in a previous episode, which is all down to the fact that she was not really legitimately born as a child, as we were led to believe. She was sort of just formed out of the body, cut as a shard from the angel Nicole, and the whole purpose being to see to the ends of bringing the God Key out from the heavens and, giving it to Beelzebub, letting the Demon Key join with it, and freeing Bahamut so that Beelzebub could, in fact, take over as ruler of the world. And it got very emotional when, Amira is down on her knees and she's calling back to Favreau, who Favreau and Kaiser both have been basically, encapsulated in these energy barriers to keep them away from her. And she tearfully eyed, asks Favreau, she'll recognize me, right? Calling back on what Lavali, her supposed father, we learned was not, in fact, her father. One of the Orleans Knights in a previous episode told her, your mother will know you. She'll recognize you. You'll hug her, and it'll be very familial. The bond will be there and everything like that. And that's what Amira does. Her clothes are literally burned away as she approaches the angel Nicole, and it's just heartbreaking. They embrace, and there is, there's just abject horror on Nicole's face from having been encapsulated, having been, at the hands of such demons and evil culture and everything like that. But then there is a recognition. Her eyes go from being bloodshot to clear. She says Amira's name, and, she just fades away into gold dust. And it's just so heartbreaking because Amira is right there. And, this is the next step. We see that Martinet and Beelzebub basically draw this energy out of Amira, out of the surrounding area, to transform Amira into a demon form or what have you. I guess they're going to be trying to pirate out the God Key from her, which will probably take her life if they are successful. And it's very intriguing that Favreau, amidst all of this, he figures the only way he can continue, the only way he can still gain an upper hand, is to fool Martinet into believing that he wants to be part of the party. Transform me into a demon as well is, in effect, what he's saying. And sure enough, he is actually just trying to get at Martinet and strike him down. But Martinet sees this coming and forces the transformation on Favreau. And so that's two of our big heroes in this series, Jeanne d'Arc and now Favreau, who are both fully demoned out. Amira encapsulated by Beelzebub. Kaiser sitting in the back, kind of helpless as he can be. And all the while we find out that Bacchus and Rita have actually stumbled across the sort of knocked out, Azazel, who they have now chained up. They've tied him up, and Rita is trying to get questions answered as to the magic, I guess, the manipulation and such like that, that could lead her to figuring out, I don't know exactly, maybe like a reversing magic for those characters who have been turned into demons, maybe turning them back to human form or what have you. But I am once again at the edge of my seat. This show just gets better and better and tops itself every single episode, and I can't wait to see how it's all going to play out. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. If you've seen episode 10 of Shingeki no Bahamut Genesis, what you thought of it, where you think we're going from here, whether you think, our heroes will be successful in keeping Bahamut at bay and besting Beelzebub and the demons from hell and all that kind of good stuff. And otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video, and then find you well, and I'll catch you later. Peace.